you're here. Finally.
¿Por fin? ¿O no? ¿Qué está pasando?
Is something wrong? Monsieur Neurvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
¿Esto es algo raro?
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
Ajá. ¿Qué?
You mean they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know.
Claro. Ok, porque ya descubrió, o sea, es eso que está ahí es de Furina.
Yesterday,
Eso que está anotado
I
en
found
los
3 stone
edificios de
slates
Furina.
in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that.
¿En serio? ¿No fue ella?
But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon?
Pero es que ¿cómo podría saber ella si es que nació después de que murió la anterior, que no?
My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
¿Pero por qué? Le están responsabilizando por lo mismo que le estaban responsabilizando a la pobre de Nahida.
All gods don't
O no
have the
tenía
same
ni fucking
secrets,
idea.
you know. She was herself and I'm me.
Exacto,
Is it
son
really
diferentes,
so strange
podríamos
that I
decirlo
know
así.
nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters.
Investigación en secreto.
There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
Siempre ha sido, que no.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead.
¿Qué onda con Furina?
Just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine.
Creo que ya sabemos por qué podría llegar a llorar Furina según en la profecía. Porque se está esforzando todo lo que puede. O sea, porque todo el mundo ha estado cuestionando sus habilidades y su responsabilidad como arconte y nada más la toman como una mascota en la región, en lugar de su mismísima diosa. Y quiere cambiar eso. Y por eso, o sea, sigue de necia de que todo lo que está investigando sobre la profecía para detener todo esto no se lo quiere compartir a nadie porque quiere ella ser responsable, pero yo creo que, como dice la profecía, va a llorar en su trono sola porque va a llegar un punto en que ni su O sea, si con su máximo esfuerzo va a poder lograr salvar a su gente.
That's all I have to say. We do not discuss
Pero
this
significa que si
matter
Fontaine va a
again.
morir, va a desaparecer, va a ser paz. No creo, porque pues todo este mapa.
The opera's about to start. Toodles!
¿Qué? Furina, por Dios. Ni hola ni adiós.
Did not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
Está ocultando algo a propósito.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Ya nos conoces, somos chismosas profesionales.
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
A lo mejor interrogarla no era la mejor aproximación. Furina se tiene que dar cuenta por sí misma de la gravedad del asunto.
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Un juicio.
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a
Wait,
scenario.
hold on. ¿Y si está esperando justo que caiga ella en juicio?
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
En ese caso necesitaremos ayuda.
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Creo que conozco algunas personas que pueden ayudarnos. ¿Vas a pedirle ayuda a la casa de la hoguera? ¿A Navia? No, sí, les va a pedir ayuda a la casa de la hoguera. Unos días después, en un barco cerca del tranquilo Poisson. ¿Cuál tranquilo? Se deberían de poner ahí cerca del destruido Poisson, pero bueno.
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
Ah, claro.
And here you
No
are
quiero
drinking
regresar aquí.
tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
Creo Wesley.
That's what families should
Ah,
do.
no, Lynette.
Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice
Lynette
to
y Lainey,
enjoy
claro.
tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Te necesito, Navia. Por favor, venga conmigo. Ya he intentado bastantes veces.
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
Claro,
I fear
él
that
está
I
en
will
Nibilet.
cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Se convertirá en un tribunal.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
That was a little
Corinne.
long-winded, don't you think?
Interesante.
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
¿Qué?
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Ya, no quiero hablar.
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
Ok. Y esto es como, jajaja. Ok.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
Un poco extraño, la verdad, iniciar la conversación de esta manera, pero siga, Cloran.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters.
Cazadores fantasmales.
Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus.
Vale, la segunda vez que escuchamos esa...
Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey.
Ok, entiendo. Estás explicando cómo va a ser nuestra estrategia para sacar todo el caldo que tiene de información la señorita Furina.
So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
O sea, sí, pero el objetivo no es atrapar una paloma ni un conejo, my friend. El objetivo es atrapar un arconte.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
Ya se comprende. Con paciencia, no hay que desesperarnos.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
Un tanto curioso para ser un dragón elemental.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the
Sí,
use of
muy
any
directo.
such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need.
Que tiene que hacer presión ante la presa.
If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Exacto.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
La metáfora de Clara en realidad no es más que eso, una metáfora. No serán llamar cazadores porque ese no es el quid de la cuestión. Además, su relación con Furina tampoco está en el punto tan malo como este. Solo necesitan averiguar qué secreto esconde. Es irrelevante indagar en los secretos de un dios, pero deciden asumir el riesgo para evitar que Fontaine se hunda bajo el agua, tal y como predice la profecía. En este caso no existe ni un cazador ni una presa, pero sí la posibilidad de tender una trampa. Eso es lo que necesitan, una trampa. Gracias por explicarnos, pero se hubieran ahorrado tanta plática. Bueno, no, hemos tenido pláticas mucho más largas.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening.
Estas reuniones me han dado un hambre.
Paimon didn't think
Claro,
that
no nos van a
people
decir
were
todavía el
and
plan
everyone
como lo han
seemed
hecho,
pretty fired
igual
up,
como
huh?
en la última parte de Sumeru, por supuesto que sí.
Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
¿Te sientes con más confianza ahora, Paimon?
Well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh?
¿Qué pasa?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
No, ¿qué va?
Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Wesley.
Don't be frightened. I'm just
Mona.
joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice?
Ah, have you forgotten me already?
Wait. You are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
Wait, what?
The voice from the sky, hmm? I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and
¿Quién
thus
eres?
came
El
to
ángel
you.
Gabriel, what the fuck?
Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of
Preguntando
mine,
lo
after
mismo
all.
la viajera. ¿Quién eres y qué quieres de nosotras?
Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim.
Discípulo, ok, es una de las brujas, es una de las del círculo de brujas, pero no es Alice, porque Alice tiene una voz bastante diferente, pero ya como dijo, del encargo de la discípula de la amiga, tiene que ser entonces una de las compañeras brujas, una compañera bruja de la maestra de Mona. Ella y la maestra de Mona son amigas, exacto. Y esta es la misteriosa bruja N de la que rale. Me gustaría preguntarle algo sobre la profecía. ¿Sabes si la profecía de Fontaine se cumplirá? No, me gustaría
The
preguntarle eso.
prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied
N.
will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Historia del futuro.
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
Creo que no la podemos detener.
I believe
Va a
you have
pasar porque va a
witnessed a
pasar.
failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be changed?
No puede haber ninguna excepción.
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
O sea, Fontaine va a desaparecer. Eso, que ni qué. Pero va a desaparecer a los ojos de los dioses. Eso no significa que Fontaine va a desaparecer en la realidad en sí. Pero significa que no va a tener ya el apoyo de la Orden Celestial.
What is she talking about?
Sí, de por sí ya no lo tenía, ¿no?
It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
Veo el fondo de la taza de té.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future.
Tienes que hacer lo que debes
All you
hacer.
need to do is to play your part.
Play your part. Bueno, ¿qué onda con las brujas estas?
This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality.
Pero yo no te lo hice, señora.
Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
Esa es la pista que nos das. Oh my god. Celis, muchísimas gracias por el follow. Bienvenido a la comunidad. Espera, te encuentras con alguien. ¿Con
I
quién?
want to hear someone talking. All right, coming.
Qué trabajadora te has vuelto, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Buenas, hello, Celins.
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
¿Qué tal estos días, Mona?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist
Recién
mentioned that
cumpliendo
sitting
años.
around and
Ah,
waiting for
¿con
the
quién
end
es tu
to come
cumpleaños?
would be
¡Feliz
wrong,
cumpleaños!
and that they should make
¿Cuántos
their own rescue
cumples?
preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Ah, fue el 26. Ah, feliz cumpleaños, entonces. También tengo una amiga que cumple el 26. Cumplí 20. GG's. Ah, very nice, very nice.
Why, yes.
Ahora sí
it
a las
was
2
Charlotte.
décadas.
I assume you've heard of her, no? That daredevil journalist? I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
¿Cada cuánto hago streams? Hago streams así muy a lo seguro los miércoles, los viernes y los sábados. A veces hago también streams los lunes. Este lunes no voy a estar stream. El último stream del año va a ser hoy y mañana. Ok, mañana vamos a darle a Lies of P. Y de ahí el siguiente stream sería el miércoles.
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Todos los miércoles vemos anime. Y ves a nuestra querida VTuber Lola.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try,
Rex,
but
hello
I'm
there.
afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
En realidad alguien ha venido a visitarnos. Bueno, déjame suscribo entonces. Thank you,
Goodness
Celine.
gracious. Are you serious?
Wait, hold on, ¿suscribirte? ¿Cómo que suscribirte? Wait, what? ¿Suscribirte a nivel Twitch o suscribirte a nivel YouTube? Imagino que vino a transmitir su
She
mensaje.
said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost.
Sí, pero eso no la convierte en una persona bastante omnipotente, siendo ser capaz de guiar a la gente.
But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group.
Suscribirse a nivel
But
Amazon
they
Prime,
must
dice.
really stay in
Güey.
shape to live so long.
¿cómo están? Pues aquí.
Their
A
abilities
ver si hoy
alone
terminamos
are pretty
la
terrifying.
historia de Fontaine.
If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yo más o
She
menos.
was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
Es posible, seguro que la pista que nos dio es útil, pero ¿cuándo entenderemos su valor y significado? Pues a la mejor respuesta que había a mi pregunta.
Traveler, Paimon, are you two all right?
Oh, we're
El
fine.
Genshin lo tengo en japonés,
Just a
creo.
little down right now. It kind of
Sí,
feels
es lo
like
que me han
the
dicho
end is
muchos de que por qué
coming,
no
you
se lo
know?
pongo en japonés. O sea, hay muchas cosas que sí, son más divertidas en japonés, pero Ito, ok, lo valida. Es que el que dobló a Ito en inglés es un dios. O sea, justo la forma en que dobló al personaje hizo que me enamorara de Ito,
I
sinceramente.
I feel that same sense of desperation too.
Más otros personajes por ahí que también fascinan sus doblajes en inglés.
I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But even so, I still hope for and believe in miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful. Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
En cierta parte sí.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff. I need to get going.
No hay problema, Mona. Eres muy apasionada de tu trabajo, eso se respeta. No te preocupes, Mona, y
It
gracias.
was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
La verdad que es que es la persona que menos me hubiera imaginado que me lo hubiera encontrado por aquí,
Also
pero bueno.
kinda sad too. Hey, traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Adiós.